I decided. Remember the days of like Zoo TV and it was like Chris Evans and it was like Bombast. Maybe we need a bit of laddishness. Let's bring lads back. Okay, let's not.
I'm trying to be professional. Look, I put new veneer, real wood, on the back there. Our green screen now has a frame. Sledgehammer's up there. It's all looking great. Professionalism.
It looks like a Cuban outhouse.
You know, I put it up.
What, I've noticed some of the veneers peeling away there.
Yeah, I know. I have to get another screw in there. Thanks for pointing that out. I've tried glue on it and everything.
Their
nothing
eyes
sticks.
will just be drawn to that now.
For
Have you
God's
tried
sake.
blue tack?
I've tried everything. Nothing sticks. I has to get fucking screws in it. Now, I was putting it up and it reminded me when I was in Nepal. And the first time I went for a proper outdoor shit, right, and I was on the way up to...
You mean in the open or in a shack?
In a shack. Mm-hmm. And I went down and it's all, the long drop. So I'm like that, here it comes.
Your long stools, though, it would be a very long drop. How long? I bet it goes right around the U-bend before it snaps off. Like a sausage machine.
I do that now. They all disappear. They swim home on their own. So I'm sitting there going, here we go. And I look to the side and there's a wall exactly like this. But right here there's a gap and I'm looking through to the shop and the people who are shopping are looking at me and so I had to put my arm against it. It was awful.
I remember being in Paris with my family on holiday as a kid. I needed a shit.
Oh God.
And my broken schoolboy French asked where the toilet was because there was no sign.
Baguette. Jacques Cousteau.
So I went and I went through. There was two doors, neither doorways, no doors on them.
Yes,
and you had a shitter. Mm-hmm. But what was blocking the view of the restaurant was a pot plant. So you were sitting there, and it was like a big cheese plant, and you could just see the French like eating their croque madames and croque monsieurs,
and you're having a giant Scottish.
There was no.
It's not good.
There's a restaurant in Edinburgh my mum and dad took me to, and the toilet's Barkett, and I'm halfway through the meal I look up and the chef's coming out of it and he didn't look like he'd washed his hands.
Oh my God. Another one in Nepal. We're up in...
Well, this is a Nepalese restaurant, the one in Edinburgh, funnily enough.
We're up in...
Earthy.
Kumjung. Beautiful place.
Wonderful.
Absolutely amazing. So
Chariots of the Gods stuff, isn't it?
It's just incredible, right? We can look out the window and Everest is there. I mean, it's, great.
Makes you feel small.
It's just the best place I've ever been. But I need to go for a shit, as always. Mm-hmm. Just got there. There's the toilet. So go right up there. The new block. I went, it's going to be a new toilet. So I get to the end, but the toilets hadn't been put in yet.
Oh.
So I get to the very end of it. I open the door, and there's a little coo. Well, a little yak, a wee baby. And on the other side of it, the long drop. So I'm just sitting.
Was that for wiping your arse off?
I must have been. I'm just squatting. Well, you only had water to wipe your arse. Yeah, that's all you get, water, and you just...
A towel?
No.
Oh.
No. So I'm taking a shit, and I'm making eye contact the whole time with this beautiful...
Was it licking its lips with a long tongue?
It was so young, it was still a bit shaky.
That's the joke, isn't it? There's a bear.
Is this a joke, or is this like what
That's
you do?
That's a joke. There's a bear squatting taking a shit in the woods.
Okay.
And Mr. Rabbit walks past, and the bear goes to Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit, do you ever have a problem with the shite sticking to your fur? And the rabbit goes, no, Mr. Bear. So he grabs the rabbit and wipes his arse with him.
This week, I wrote it down.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like a fag paper.
This week, wealth.
Okay. Oh, that's good, because I've been accumulating wealth.
You've been accumulating wealth. There's a lot going on this week with the billionaires going into space. There's a lot to be said.
You know what I love about the billionaires going into space?
And what's that?
Nobody has been positive about that Branson cunt. The thing that will annoy him the most is nobody gives a fuck.
That's
to start
right.
with. Nobody gives a fuck.
That's right, yeah.
He must ache. Ache for those balloon years.
Yeah. Oh, God, and the stupid
I hate Branson. He's like a fucking horrible... Noel Edmondsy character, youthful. You know what I mean?
His boat that he went across the Atlantic in at high speed just sold recently for fuck all. Nobody wanted it.
His nephew's called Tim Rock'n'Roller.
Is that? Oh, right.
Married to Kate Winslet. He's changed his name to Rock and Roll. Ned Rock'n'Roller.
That's incredible.
He should be killed.
Yeah, just, well,
killed.
I think because this is going out to the public, not killed, but a good fucking talking to.
No, killed.
All right, okay.
The that fire. What was that island you owned?
Oh,
Pedo
yeah.
Island or
Pedo Island.
Necker Island?
Is that a Necker Island?
It caught fire.
And Kate Winslet.
And I think he was wanting the government to pay for it.
Yeah, Kate Winslet carried his mother and threw her burning into the swimming pool or something. I don't know. I might have made that up.
Well, Kate Winslet's decided to get a big fake pair of tits.
What?
I just don't know why, but she's.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah, that's the latest Kate Winslet.
She's an unusual one.
Not a Kate Winslet fan. I've not liked it.
No, I've never
seen
any.
Titanic in my life.
Never seen it. Nah.
Not a fan. She played that. Was it not Heavenly Creatures? The two lassies that bludgeoned the Australian thing. That was all right. That was all right.
Yeah, that was his only good film ever.
Yeah. Well, Brain Dead's quite fun.
No, they are
Schlock.
indie schlock films where you can mistake talent because you've enjoyed something.
They go at such a pace.
Yes.
They go at such a pace.
But that's what he should have stuck at. Now he's doing all these big films. It's rubbish.
He doesn't enjoy making films anymore. They're too big and corporate for him. He looks skinny. He's lost weight. Is he fat again?
No, I don't think so. But that's what he should do. Go back to making a film for
they can't
10 grand.
They can't do it because they're all greedy bastards.
I think it was Sam Raimi. He obviously
can't make a film anymore.
Can't make a film. But he's doing the new Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is, he said it himself. He was doing Evil Dead and went, "How do we get a Steadicam board?
Yeah.
How do we do this? We'll make it. You'd figure things out."
Yeah.
But when he done Evil Dead 2, they threw like $2 million at him, and he went, "Oh, we could just do this." And he just, the money was just spent in his mind so fast, and that's the problem with these things. You need the innovation.
Mm-hmm.
You need the war mentality.
Yeah, people. Struggle. You come up with a good idea. No, but Richard Branson, I really don't give a fuck.
But
he was one bailed out his airline.
Yes, this is correct. And it's like, and fuck him.
His ego project's costing billions. And Bezos and Musk, they should fly the three of them up.
Just leave them.
Shoot them out of the sky.
Well, Bezos, his first flight's coming up.
Soon, yeah.
Okay.
I don't
That's
think
coming for us.
Branson's not got the money of Bezos and Musk.
No, not at all.
Bezos is the real Papa Daddy, isn't he?
Bezos, he's about to fly soon. But what he's put into it is $10 billion, right?
Okay.
But that's been done from the government. So American taxpayers is paying for his space program and his first flight into space.
Because he's going to, because it's private
Terrible.
stuff that NASA's not really, the shuttles don't exist anymore, so it's kind of private enterprise, isn't it? But it's all boiled down to him feeling, you know that feeling you get in a swing when you go up high and your wee perineum goes, we're spending £10 million, well, not us, £10 million of taxpayers' dollars, so he gets a wee tickle in his perineum.
Well, this is not new because in Manhattan, New York, 100 years ago, it was all timber barns.
Yeah.
And they all started building tall buildings.
Then they'd add a wee bit in the top.
And to the point where they'd hide the spire. And then at the last minute, they'd pull the spire out and then, just wind it up. And this is the exact same thing.
Yeah, just hubris.
When you have this amount of hubris, but when you get this amount of money, wealth, when you get this amount of wealth, you start being a bit crazy. Well, you start thinking different. But apparently there's a psychological change in people.
Yeah,
and
they surround themselves with not friends but employees. And then they start doing stuff like they use like moisturiser on their face made out of baby foreskins.
This is true.
That's
this
real.
Is true. Yeah.
They get enemas using like crushed pearls. They just do crazy shit. Fuck the lot of them.
Wealth.
They've got wealthier though. That's
foreskins. Right in America.
Bezos looks like he bathes in foreskins.
He looks like it, but in America, here's what happens.
He's got a bendy willy.
What?
His willy is like, it looks like a question mark.
Well, that's normal. So, foreskins all cut off. They say it's cleanliness, it's all this sort of thing, right?
No,
they're
just being harvested by billionaires.
It's harvested for stem cells.
Can you get stems? Is it not umbilical cords that get the stems?
You get it from a
foreskin, can you?
And they can experiment with them, and it's a big industry.
Babies
so they
are
encourage
just
it.
Babies are just the wealthy. It's the Tesco's for wealthy people.
It's absolutely true, and they're just rubbing it on their face. They get fetuses.
Kate Winslet,
them,
not Kate Winslet. Her from those terrible Underworld films. She uses this.
Oh God, she's terrible. It's what's her name? Kate Beckinsale.
Her father was a guy who porridge.
That's right.
It's hard to believe. She's got a sister who did Casualty.
She's terrible.
She knew her market.
Awful.
She's like the poor man's Mila Djokovic, and Mila Djokovic is shit.
She's really bad.
Her husband
for
makes
her husband,
all her
she
films.
she wouldn't be.
She was a like Ukrainian model. I think they like smuggled her across to the
when
UK
she was like 15,
12. Yeah,
she was really young.
Genuinely. Do you remember that Married with Children comedy show for way back?
Yeah.
She was in that as an au pair or something.
Oh my God, she must have been about 13.
Yes.
She had to be.
Yeah, she could tell a tale because the modelling industry is just
Well, she was
hellish.
in Cuffs with Christian Slater, and she was super young in that. That was like 1990 or something.
I watched the last Resident Evil film, and there'll be more of them.
Did you feel like you were... You know what it feels like? Because I'm in VR now, if you forget and you put the light off and use VR, it can't track. So everything shakes. That's what it's like.
The zombies all had boiler suits on.
It was brutal.
And it had, I think one of them had Ruby Rose in it. Poor Ruby.
Oh, Ruby Rose.
Poor Ruby Rose.
What a handsome woman.
But she's just shit.
She's terrible.
You should watch a thing she's called the door person.
Okay.
And she's like a bellhop.
Right.
She's wearing a little Piper blue uniform, but it turns out she's a special forces executive.
Of course. What's this film with her and the president guy? He's always the president, Morgan Freeman, and it's unbelievably bad. And I think she's like an assassin in it or something. And it's meant to be so bad. It's got a new level of badness that people are studying that you can get this bad
Morgan
now.
Freeman just does garbage now.
It's money.
They all
Just
do
doesn't.
garbage. They do these VOD, like video on demand.
But this
stuff.
is fair enough. I see a lot of actors getting blamed. But you're an actor, it's a job. You turn up, you get paid.
Bruce Willis does it. Nicolas Cage does it. Seagal does it to a level of just crud.
Where he doesn't even stand up.
He doesn't stand up.
Is it the China salesman or something?
China salesman. There's one called Commander
incredible.
General.
Yes.
And there's one where they've added there's a motorcyclist and they've
It's
clumsily
great.
popped his face onto the glass.
Brilliant.
But Bruce Willis does terrible. Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo.
Oh, he does anything.
But Frank Grillo has been quite upfront about it. He says that film was bullshit. He
But
said
yeah,
it was
he
just a
says
payday.
that.
But he says, I blame Bruce Willis. Because Bruce Willis, it's like he's drunk. He'll do
Doesn't
a day's
care.
work.
Yeah.
But the whole enterprise is just a tax dodge.
I know, and I get that. But I think even just because you do have fans who have put you there, they've paid everything, I would turn up and I would give it my all. Even if I was pissed
but
off.
you've got to wonder about someone who thinks that the name Steven Seagal still has some kind of cachet. Like,
Yeah, and let's
that's
get
a
it.
sign of quality.
Yeah.
No, Steven Seagal's made one good film in his entire life. Hard to Kill. Absolutely fucking tremendous.
Is that the one where he's in the...
He's hard to kill.
Yeah, he is hard to kill, but he's in the coma.
He's hard to kill.
Is that the one?
That's Hard to Kill.
Yeah, that's
He
good.
comes to from the coma. He puts joss sticks in his oxters.
And then he's fine. That's the one.
He's in a coma
where he fights
for 10
like this.
years. And they decide they could have fucking unplugged him in 10 years.
Yeah.
They send a hitman the day he wakes up.
It's
he wakes
genius.
up and there's a hitman waiting for him.
I have watched that film in the last probably 3 years, probably
that
4
Hard
or
to
5
Kill?
times. Is it Hard to Kill?
Oh
I get
God,
them
his
mixed
names
up.
are so... There's one where he's a tough cop where he wears a beret and he's on the streets of New York. That's the one he has a fight in like the Sikh guy's store and he's throwing people through windows.
Oh, yeah. But he just touches them and their arms break.
But
and
he
they fall
believes all
over.
that shit.
He does.
But Frank Grillo's like that. It's a cesspit. I did it for the money. I didn't realise what it was going to be like. He says, and I'm embarrassed about it.
That's cool.
But Frank Grillo does some good stuff.
But he seems quite a genuine sort of...
He made one about
guy.
like...
I like him.
He's kind of... It's one of these, you keep dying. With Mel Gibson
Mel
in
Gibson,
it.
yeah.
Big Boss or something.
Something like that.
I really
Final
enjoyed
Boss. something
Final
like
Boss.
that.
I really enjoyed it. I watched the film last night. Megan Fox.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no.
Okay.
Megan Fox, she's kind of terrible.
She's incredibly terrible.
Well, she made a film about a killer lion in South Africa.
Yes, that's
So
right.
they're like anti-poaching special forces troops, and there's a lion.
Yeah.
It's
Which do exist.
It does
They got
exist.
chucked out of
Yeah.
the whole continent. Yeah, that's right.
But it was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But there's different levels of garbage. It was garbage with but it was watchable garbage.
Okay.
But the stuff that's so garbage, it's annoying. You
Yeah,
can't watch
yeah.
it. But she's made one Till Death,
Yes, I've seen the trailer for
where
that.
her husband This is you'll understand. It's clearly from the plot. He takes an romantic weekend, handcuffs himself to her, kills himself,
right,
and then leaves her. But then he's hired people to bump her off.
The premise is fine,
and it's a really good film. And
is it good?
Yeah,
is she good in it?
She's really good in it.
Oh fuck! Okay.
She's really. So it just shows you actors. But Bruce Willis did that. Bruce Willis. People started to think Bruce Willis a cunt. His career went down, but then he still had it in him to do Looper. That was his last good film.
And I didn't even enjoy that.
But I thought it had enough going for I kind of enjoyed it. But now he's busted. Nicolas Cage, even though he's doing trash,
every now and then he does something.
He does
amazing.
something.
Well, I think with Bruce Willis, what he should do is go back to being a comic actor.
They won't do it. He won't.
They just want him
because he's so lazy now.
He's so miserable.
He just
and
sits
bored.
down. He's gold. There's one film he's at. He's wearing a big scarf, and the reason he's wearing a scarf is so the body double can do everything. He's literally not even. He wouldn't walk to the end of this room.
Oh, what a boring person!
And he's worth. What infuriates me is he's worth like 150 million. Why does he need to do these films?
Yeah, just
because
he's
greedy.
A bit of fun. Greedy.
He wants another 3.
Wealth. This is
he could do films for nothing. He could say to young directors, "Fuck, I'm free this weekend."
Danny Trejo.
Yeah,
because he's in like 500 films. Because if someone asks him, "Could you be in it?" He goes, "I could do one scene," and he comes down and he acts the shit out of it, and then goes back. But he does it on his lunchtime of another film.
Oh, that's so good.
And basically, if you could fly him anywhere in the world, he'd go, "I'll do it." And
because Nicolas Cage gets something, and he's interested in a film. His juices are flowing.
Yeah,
he's married again. He's
always married.
Well, the reason he got married is she had a love for flying squirrels.
That's a pretty good reason.
That's attractive.
I get that.
Pretty attractive.
I could see that.
But just the vast wealth.
Buying
castles and
he bought islands and he went crazy and he bought a lot.
He was buying stuff and not paying any tax.
See, this is what happens though. There is a psychological change with you get rich, but then you get wealthy. And that's the next stage. I mean, there's real money and you don't know what to do with it.
No.
Have you been to London and there's loads of like these £500,000 cars and they've wrapped them in gold and they just don't know what, and then they don't pay tax on them, so the police pick them up and crush them.
Yeah,
they just buy another one.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's like the people that buy the very expensive. They'll buy a £30,000 watch and they'll encrust it with diamonds, and it's now worth 15,000.
They
actually ruin
the watch. Yeah,
they ruin things. But when you get to that level of wealth, Jeff Bezos's main daily day-to-day activity is just making sure he doesn't pay tax on his wealth. That's his job now.
It's so boring, isn't it?
I think he's kind of stepped down from CEO of Amazon.
Stepped down. I bet he's still in charge in the background.
Of course he's still in charge, but he's for tax reasons.
Yes, that's it.
He's changed his question mark penis.
Pauly Shore.
Oh, I can't stand him.
Hold on. I'll make you like him.
No.
His
Biodome.
Yeah, but hold on.
Is he wealthy?
Well, his mum and dad, and his mum was Mitzi Shore that owned the Comedy Store in LA. And she died a few years ago.
Man.
I like him, but hold on, I'll tell you why.
Biodome.
He kept all his money. He's been really sensible with it.
Right.
And he made a lot of money. He was huge. He was the sort of comic for MTV generation.
Yeah,
he
I didn't
did
watch
it all,
MTV.
Right? He was huge. And
Biodome.
And I love Biodome. I've got it at home. I love it. Worst film ever made, but I love it.
Did he play one where he's an ice man that woke up from a block of ice?
Yes. Okay. Encino Man. It's brilliant. So, I was watching him, and he has this. He's moved to, I think, Las Vegas now. His mother died a couple of years ago, and he had this just an apartment, just a little house.
Yeah,
nothing much.
Okay.
In LA. He says, "Why would he get more?"
Yeah.
He's so sensible, and everyone thinks he's something wrong with him because the way he's acting that. But that was just the act. No drink, drugs. He just behaved himself.
So
got his money. He's quite boring.
They buy these mega mansions.
Yeah, this is
what they don't realise. These mega mansions, you think, it's I've got. That's an asset. That's money. That's not. That's a money pit.
Yes.
You have to pay. In LA, you have to pay to own that house every year.
That's
you could be paying $2 million.
Yeah,
and then it's fucking shocking.
So
nobody
much.
wants to buy it off you. There's that guy, the one I've told you about, the £500 million mansion.
Yes,
he'll end up shooting himself.
Yeah.
He cannot get rid of that, and having it is costing him money. It'll bleed him dry.
It's
crazy.
obscene.
Fuck the lot of them.
But I liked Pauly Shore, and it wasn't that he hoarded his money.
No.
He spends it,
Right.
and he has this balance.
Yeah.
Of where I've got money and I can spend it,
Well,
but I'm not crazy.
it's a classic. The band Steps.
Yes.
They lived like they were wealthy people. They were not wealthy people. They've no money.
Just like 5-star in the
5-star.
80s.
5-star were even what they thought. They thought they were Michael Jackson.
They thought it would never end.
They had one hit.
Yeah.
The only thing they had in common with Michael Jackson was the makeup, the look.
The look, but
they look more like Janet Jackson.
Yeah, lots of shoulder pads.
But yeah, they'll be living in a Cootenham room with a Kunzel house, but they'll have no money.
They'll have nothing now.
Just nothing.
They blew it all. It was cars. And it's like, just slow down.
But you need something. I think you know the music industry, but you'll get a £5 million record deal. That's no £5 million in your pocket.
That's not your money. That's their money.
That's $5 million.
That's a $5 million
that
loan.
That pays for everything.
That's a loan that you have to pay back with interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no such thing as...
No.
People used to think, oh, I got signed, I got this great deal, look at all the money. That's
one album doesn't make you enough money. You have to...
Anything that happens around you that's to do with the band, you're paying for it. For example, if you're...
Lavy roll for the bus.
Anything.
Yeah.
The tour bus, the tour, the lights, the sound system, everyone you work for, everything you have to pay for. No one else is paying for it.
Jesus.
You're paying for it.
That was going on for a hell of a long time.
Don't get signed.
There was no other option before, but now...
That's right.
Now, now you just ignore everything and just
And now musicians can be very different.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of musicians that don't even have albums.
Don't even play instruments.
They
Sing.
They can't sing. But it's like there's one girl I follow, Sarah Longfield. Now, it's very math rock music. I don't like it, but she's an incredible guitarist.
Right.
And she'll give lessons, she'll just play, she'll talk. There's a whole other way of consuming music, and you don't need signed for it. This is incredible. You can have a really good income just by being a musician and doing it your own way.
You could say one thing, you could send out one tweet you've not curated properly, and that's the end of you.
That's very true.
And you get deplatformed.
That's
and
very true.
Gone.
That's another side of it.
A lot of these celebrities, they're all doing voiceovers. They'll all do happy birthdays for a $5.
Oh, on Cameo.
Yeah.
And it's a surprising amount of high quality
it's
people
everybody.
on it. Yeah.
Because actors are not, there's no been any stage work.
Do you know who does it?
Who?
Tiffany. 80s pop star.
I wish I'm alone
Tiffany.
now. I wish you
were I wish we were alone now.
With the ginger hair.
That's
Tiffany.
A fantastic woman.
What
a woman.
I was more a Debbie Gibson fan.
Oh, Electric Youth.
Electric Youth. They were the same person, weren't they? Tiffany must be getting on a bit now.
She's the exact same age as me. Same
60.
Same birthday and everything.
Christ.
Yeah.
Ginger's didn't age well.
No, she's looking great.
She's looking well.
A buxom woman, shall I say.
Oh, she's
well, she always was. Now, this is something
Did
about
they strap
her.
them down?
Yes. Do you remember her big jumpers?
No, really.
When she recorded that song, she was like 13, 14. She was a really wee kid. And then she'd go on this tour around America.
And her boobs
came
grew.
back years later, signed, getting this, and they're like, oh, fuck, we can't have this. So she was all jumpered and covered up. But now you don't need to. It's very different.
You don't need to.
She's
it must be a struggle. Like Chesney Hawkes, what's he doing?
Oh, poor Chesney Hawkes.
What about the guy from Then Jericho?
Oh, him. He's a clusterfuck of a human.
He's a disgusting pig. You watched that thing where him and fucking Sunita?
Yeah.
Sonia. Was it Sonia?
Sonia on a bus.
They're on motels in America.
And he's still the rock star. He's picking up women,
shite.
drunk. He doesn't.
Well, women.
There was
from dive bars.
Technically a woman. On paper, that was a woman he picked up. And he
paid them to pretend.
He's such a mess.
He's like the evil Chesney Hawkes. He's
evil
got the same
Chesney
vibe.
Hawkes, yeah.
They had one hit, and I can't remember what.
Big Area from the film Slipstream.
A brilliant
there
film.
You go.
Oh God,
Big Area. Yeah,
he's making no money off that song.
No, it's
Wave one out. The local Dundee stations didn't even play that.
They've never played it. And our local Dundee station is so bad. They used to have their studio in Dock Street, and when it was hot like this, a hot day today, they'd open their windows, and I would drive past there because I'd work on the other side of Auto Rent.
Would you beep the horn?
And I would beep the horn and turn the radio up, and about 2 seconds later go beep beep, and you'd hear me passing it. And then you'd get annoyed because people would start peeping their horns every time.
They are brutal when it comes to their employees. They sack people all the time.
It's a rubbish station.
Pure FM, isn't it?
Pure it's now called.
Pure.
Yeah.
It's Robin Galloway.
And he is terrible.
He's no stranger to the cocaine. He's now a vegan. But they do a morning thing on this. Is it Saturday morning? They do a thing where they try deep fried stuff.
Oh my god!
Fuck
radio's
it.
Dead.
Radio's
shit.
Podcasts like ours,
yes, we're the
are
future.
wonderful, but no, because a radio.
There's so many restrictions.
Yeah, but it's just so much filler. What the fuck? Imagine the bleakness. Every morning you have to wake up and do a radio show and fill it 4 or 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah.
What do you get to speak about? You've just been at the radio station and then home in your bed.
There's nothing to talk about.
You've not been doing anything.
It's so junk. They need to change it. And the thing is, like that, the restrictions with it are. Someone says something wrong, they could lose their licence. And that's jobs and everything.
And then
it's
the ones
so
that's
dangerous.
got the adverts in are terrible. Pure FM basically is trying to cut back the news. They'll obviously, for their charter, they'll have to do so
much.
News.
There's got to be so much, yeah.
5 minutes every 3 days, but it's just terrible. How do they make
what
money
I see
off
on
that?
podcasts, though, and I don't like, and a lot of YouTubers are doing this, they're starting to go and now, do, and there's all the sounds, and they're pressing constant sounds.
Oh, they're thinking it's kind of retro.
And they don't, yeah, and it's like old FM. It sounds like Steve Wright from 1990.
Steve Wright's show has just been the same from 1990. He's very fat now.
Is he very
Steve Wright,
fat?
giant fat man.
He's awful. He doesn't like to sit down because he likes to bring the energy
he
to the
must
show.
be a wealthy man.
Yes, they think so. Do you think that?
I noticed
money?
that ghastly. What's her name? Zoe Ball. She's on radio too.
You see
the Radio 1 cool cats. They all end up seeing.
Yeah, that you slowly drift away into
Radio 2 with Jamie Cullum.
Awful. The thing is with radio, with Zoe Ball, she's been quite obviously bad. For many
terrible.
years.
Never been good.
And she has she doesn't have a natural flow.
She's not good at her craft, no.
No.
Tell you who's a terrible radioist?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans.
Terrible. That's true.
He's absolutely terrible. He's a mumbling. We're more fluent than he is. And we're terrible.
We're pretty bad.
But he's garbage at his craft. And the 90s, he did all that. He'd Gaza on, and it was all like Zoo TV style.
Yeah, TFI.
Terrible.
Terrible stuff.
Terrible. But he's a terrible broadcaster. When you see him on TV, he's awful. He can't interview people. He was on Top Gear, which I hate anyway. He was terrible. Just garbage.
Very
wealthy. Terry Wogan was good.
Terry Wogan was a genius.
A professional.
Yeah.
He built this weird...
twinkle,
I didn't really listen
fun.
to him on the radio, but he had loyal followers.
Well, I listened to him on... And this is the bizarre thing.
Unflappable.
I was going to college, God, when? 99, Perth.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone there, they were all 18. I was older.
Yeah.
18, all this sort of thing. They all listened to Terry Wogan and pished themselves. They thought it was fantastic. It was quite...
Did he have a little surrealist bent? Just a little bit.
It just went a bit off sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what you waited on. And you could hear his twinkle. You could
he
hear
had
this.
A pace.
Yeah.
I love that he did Children in Need, but he got paid.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't give a fuck about children.
Towards the end, because he died, he just seen that he died. But he did a thing where him and this London cabbie just went about the country trying stuff, pasties and shit. And he just seemed like quite an affable kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did Eurovision and he was good at that. He was just good.
He was excellent. Yeah,
he kept it at his own pace.
Yes.
He never sped up.
This is what's happening, and I think that's the key to it. And what happens with some YouTubers, and I'm hopefully going to try and avoid it, is that you start trying to catch up with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what some rock stars do. Amy Winehouse, her Beehive, she didn't take that down when she went home. It just got bigger and bigger. She couldn't keep up with her own persona.
All right, okay.
And that was a big problem with it.
They're chasing, I suppose the problem is you needn't to produce content. Like Adam Savage just does stuff where he just opens boxes now and stuff he gets for free.
What? That's kind of okay. As long as he's him.
Yeah.
If you try and be Adam Savage the way people remember you, no, just talk, just be chill.
Just keep it quite chilled, okay.
Yeah.
But I suppose the younger people are maybe doing stuff. They have to have a boxing fight.
Yeah,
the thing is, how do you
they're
follow
not keeping
that?
Up. Exactly.
You can't.
They can't keep up with themselves.
You peak, yeah.
It keeps getting bigger and bigger.
I watched Adam
film.
Savage. There's a guy called Terry English.
Okay.
And Terry English is a master armourer.
Oh, yes.
Did all stuff for Excalibur.
Yeah.
And Adam Savage, big fan of his. And Adam Savage is a collector because he's got the wealth.
and the wee
money.
bit missing. Yeah.
So he went across, and it's like on YouTube, and it's like 5 or 6 episodes where he makes him a suit of armour.
Mm-hmm.
And to give Adam Savage his due, which the thing I like about him, some things I don't, but you could see he was at the knee of the master.
Yeah.
And he tried to do stuff, and Terry English was so much better.
Yeah.
Kenny was drawn brilliant. But Adam Savage admitted, his ego, he's not an ego guy when it comes to things like that.
I think this is the thing with seeing so much of people in, like,
how much money does Adam Savage? Because he never has to pay for anything.
Oh, he's really
that
wealthy.
That Norm guy comes in with his coffee and sandwich every day.
He's wealthy.
Very wealthy.
But people, like, okay, we're in this situation where we're talking for a couple hours a week, and you'll find that we'll repeat ourselves. We'll say things that are wrong. We'll say things that we don't mean.
Well, I noticed the other day, I listened to a film podcast out
tonight. So, yeah, you could say it.
But I called Lee Harvey Oswald Jim Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, and I just left it because I thought it was genius.
I think it was G. Harvey Oswald.
No, I thought you were having a bit. No, you're just stupid.
No, I was just stupid.
Jesus Christ.
But I just, because at the time, I'd written it down, and then I just...
I thought you were just being pretty good there. No, that's just
Lee
rubbish.
Harvey Oswald, poor guy.
Well,
he'll be haunting me now.
Yeah, but here's what happens.
I'll avoid grassy knolls.
We'll say the wrong thing. We'll make a mistake. I'll say something that's offensive that I can't even remember saying.
Right.
And people will go, I've enjoyed you all the way up until that point. But we're all the same.
Yeah.
So the cancelable part of everyone exists right away.
It's like if you opened a box of Revels, and there's someone is taking the time to make a piece of human shit, but make it look like a Revel.
Okay.
Very difficult to remove that.
Yes.
Do you throw away the whole bag?
No.
Or do you eat around it?
Well,
people are eating around us.
Okay.
We are can you get an apple and it's got a wee soft bit?
Yeah.
We're that soft bit.
We're the soft bit.
You just eat around. You can still enjoy the apple.
Here's what happens. I've said quite a few things that are quite offensive and wrong. But the majority of the ones that I've noticed, no one else has. It's just me.
Okay.
So, and I wouldn't say that again. Right? So
I've not found any of your stuff particularly offensive. It's all about your own self. It's offensive to yourself.
It is.
You give away too much.
I think I do. You don't give away anything. No, I just tell everything. That's the difference.
You splay yourself open.
Yes, I do.
There's like a guy who was in my hometown. He was a postie. I'm not going to say his name, even though his name... I'm going to say his name. He was called the Egg Green Sex Machine. And he was a guy who... Bit of a character.
Of course he was.
But he was a guy who... You couldn't have blackmail him because he just told everybody anything. He was an open book. Anything he did, he would say it.
That's my plan.
So there was just no way. But you wouldn't embarrass him because he got to you first. That's quite a good. I think. Now I used to be very different. I was completely closed off to the world, completely, and I think I've overcorrected. You're like one of those Iron Maidens.
Yes. But I never said a word to anyone, and just nobody knew anything about me. And this is until relatively recently. My friend here, who I've got a tattoo of in her wedding dress, she said, "You talk all the time, and I know nothing about you. Nothing."
It's like you have went through something. What was the cathartic episode? Just her speaking to you, or did you have?
I think
maybe long COVID.
There was another friend. I come back from actually just Nepal, and I was talking about... I wonder
if we've got any Nepalese listeners.
I think we've been listened to a few times, in Nepal.
Like that. Well, remember when Derek Findas came here?
Oh, God, yeah. Still
we
not
want him back. They've got the gallows waiting for you. They get tear you apart, tie your legs to one yak and your arms to another yak.
I went really well there. I made a lot of friends.
I bet you went down. That'll make you popular.
That does it. So I came back and a friend of mine, Lisa... She was talking...
Left Eye Lopez.
Oh, if only. And Lisa was asking me, she said, so how was it in that? And she goes, you know what, you've talked so well of it, I think I'll go. I'll go. I went, brilliant.
She had
so we're having a
conversation.
Time. No, she had a great time. So we're having this conversation, and she says, but this is the ultimate goal. This is why I still talk about it. This was it.
You peaked early.
What are you going to do now? So I talked about different things, and she goes, have you noticed that everything you do is on your own?
Yes.
I went, well, I never thought about it. She goes, every dream, every goal,
there are some things best done on your own.
Says, everything you're on your own. You don't include anyone else. You're very insular. And then I got other people saying, I don't know anything about you. So I kind of thought, okay, I'm just going to talk about myself now and just let it out. Because I don't have any secrets. There's nothing mysterious about me.
No, he's not mysterious.
I just didn't realise I didn't speak.
Sometimes I walk in here and the smells are a little bit mysterious.
I could tell you what they are, but you wouldn't be back.
No. Cinnamon.
Oh, that's
often the smell is cinnamon.
Yeah.
Cinnamon and someone else.
Yeah,
a dark smell. A moist smell.
A moist.
Like a mushroom. Kind of mouldy book.
Oh, yeah.
Mochi. Scottish word, mochi.
Mochi.
You've heard that word. Mochi.
Mochi books.
It's like a dampness. If you leave your washing in the washing machine with the door closed and you forget about it, mochi, that's that smell.
You got to wash it again.
You've got to rewash it. Never get rid of that mochi smell.
Yeah.
You dry it, just gets worse.
Wealth. So,
wealthy people don't have mochiness because they have people to deal with the moch.
That's, I suppose,
specialist, mochi
that's
specialist.
More money going out though.
I don't want staff
touching my pants.
Fuck.
No, I don't want that.
Staff. But the thing is, if you had a cleaner, you'd want to clean the house before the cleaner
I'd be embarrassed if it was dirty, so it'd be spotless.
I think,
why is your house spotless?
So
the
if
cleaners
folk have cleaners, do they just leave skid marks in the toilet and everything?
You know what, I bet they do.
If they've got a cleaner, you don't hire a cleaner and clean your own bog.
Well, I was a caretaker, right? And any time, and this is...
Who was the caretaker in the Tony Hart?
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
I remember him. So I was a caretaker. And the students at Dundee University give them the due. When they had anything on, when I went in after them, they'd cleaned the toilets and everything like that because they didn't want to leave a mess for me. It was fucking spotless pretty much every time.
That would have changed now.
Oh, it probably won't be like that now.
Folk are just shit on the floor.
But to get a dirty toilet or something had happened it happened, but it was rare. You're talking twice a year.
I've worked in places where people have management have been in and just done a big shit and not flushed it. But I will say to them, if you need to deal with that, I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah. Our cleaner here's like that. If the corridor's a mess, she goes, no, I'm not touching it. I'm not going in here. Well, what if she was cleaning it and knocked something over or, she's like, no.
The corridor's getting a wee bit.
It's getting about a hand. But, our toilets here.
I was getting some stuff delivered from Amazon the other day. I was expecting on Thursday.
Okay.
But on Tuesday I just got this thing telling me it was 4 stops away. And I think I was on some kind of glitch. So Bezos needs to get his shit together before he's flying in space.
That's true.
Fucking annoying. I must have that much wealth though. It's just, you just can't comprehend what it would be like. You cannot spend your money.
No, you can't. And I think that's something I would actually do. I would make sure the money was gone.
But that money needs taken off them. It's because they have the ego, the change you talk about.
Yeah.
Where they think, but I'm wealthier than anyone on the planet. Therefore, I'm the cleverest man in the world. Therefore, I decide where I pay my tax.
Every time
they get greedy.
Yeah, but every time someone says something like Elon Musk says something about the future wars with China, people are going, oh God, there's going to be future.
He's just an idiot.
Fuck up. He's an idiot.
He's just an emerald, fucking apartheid emerald miner.
He's an idiot.
He's an imbecile.
Yeah, I'm not having it.
His character, I'm just like, that company will eventually be taken off him. Something will happen.
Going to go wrong. Yeah,
something will happen.
The board are going to get rid of him.
They think they're a genius. It's like a fucking empire.
Yeah.
It's like they're a dictator. Yeah. It's so strange because what's his name? Jobs was the same. There's people speak about Jobs like he was a genius.
Yeah,
like a genius,
like not Jesus.
Like like a genius. His family hated him. He was awful to his own family.
But this genius thing. This is exactly what happens with
but they have people that are paid to promote their genius.
Kim Jong-un,
like your chancellor in this country, Rishi Sunak, his family are billionaires.
Right.
He's got his own photo team that go about just taking photographs of him.
Oh my God.
He's not busy doing it. What he's doing is he's wanting to be Prime Minister and he's got the money to make that happen. It's not right.
Like dictators. Now, Kim Jong-un, he played golf for the first time and got 9 holes in one and all this sort of thing. And they just say it. But there's a part of him that accepts this. It's like when you get a medium that does this talking to the dead long enough, they start believing it.
Yeah.
And when he's surrounded by people, there's got to be a psychotic disconnect.
He will.
Psychotic.
The Koreans will eventually get rid of him.
Oh, it'll happen overnight.
Always go. Like Idi Amin, they kind of got rid of him, but he survived. He died in his bed in Saudi.
Well, I heard something, and it was the saddest thing.
The wealth they've got is unbelievable. They just milk the country
so much. And it was this...
Putin. How much is Putin worth?
Oh, he's one of the richest men in the world.
He will be.
Well, he took a photograph from a helicopter, and his friend bought it, and it's the most expensive photograph ever taken.
Yeah.
And it's considered this amazing piece of art, and it's just not. But anyway, this girl, North Korea, and she's now going around telling people what it's like there.
Yeah.
And she gets asked, why don't people fight for their freedom? Why don't they do it? They went, they don't have a word for freedom. They don't have a concept.
They've been indoctrinated.
Yeah, there's only the dear leader. They don't have a concept.
Godlike
anything
status.
Could be anything different.
Yeah.
Isn't that the most terrifying thing?
What it is, they're in a perpetual state of war. And when you're at war, people get patriotic. It's the oldest trick in the...
Do you remember the
Maggie
Falklands
Thatcher
here?
did it with the Falklands.
Oh my God.
She was unpopular. She got a war and extended her reign for a long time. The Falklands, it was a junta on one side, and with that, and both sides
were just
a
mess.
Awful.
Yeah.
For what?
Yes.
I've no wish to. If I was going to the Falklands, I'd go to see the penguins, not the people.
Well, the thing is with the Falklands, I think the people there. Now,
they're more British than we are.
Yes,
it's like
all my family.
Gibraltar's the same.
All my family fought there. They were all in the Falklands, all army at the time. That was the peak of my family.
Brutal,
right?
bayonet shit.
And they all went. And apparently the people were just really terrible. They didn't like them. And this is, to this day, the people there are quite awful. This is just the opinion from one side. I may be wrong. But they're very patriotic, very there's a lot of isms and ists going on that are very normal.
They've still got the red phone boxes and the flag.
I just don't give a
Gibraltar's
fuck.
the same.
Gibraltar, give it back to fucking Spain.
I'd visit Gibraltar to see the apes. They look
that's
very
lovely.
interesting.
Yeah, that's nice.
But the rest of it, no. And it attracts a certain kind of... Island people are always slightly... Britain's an island, that explains a lot.
We're an island.
We don't like to think we are, but Britain's quite a small island.
We are a small island, but the only thing that got going for us is there's a lot of people.
Don't like fish.
I love fish.
No, but as a whole, the British don't eat much fish.
Oh God, that's crazy.
As
I like all
islanders.
kinds of fish.
So I love all kinds of fish, but yeah, they like a haddock.
But you say, like, we're at an island, and people say when you're on an island, you're very used to the sea and stuff like that. I still get abuse shouted at me for taking my surfboard to the car.
Yeah, and
people
so
don't understand. Yeah, but no one understands the water.
No,
I mean every year, as soon as it gets a little bit warm,
people drown.
They're drowning like mad because they go into big waves and think, "Oh, this is just fun."
They have a full picnic,
and
then
right
they go
into
swimming,
and they're gone.
They've gone. In
water that I wouldn't even dare go in now because it's fast moving water in the Tay. And down at Broughty Ferry, they go swimming. Get out of the fucking water. It's so dangerous.
They die in their droves.
It's so dangerous.
Broughty Ferry beach is just disgusting. It's just knee deep in dog shit.
It's horrible.
Posh dogs.
That's the posh part
quality
of
dog
town.
food. Posh side. Well, they think they're posh, but I was a doorman down the ferry, and I found the people to be despicable.
They are. The only thing I had recently to do with Broughty Ferry was I went into
a lot of old
Aldi,
folks' homes in Broughty Ferry,
not far from me, and I was looking through all the baskets because someone had spilt something like a coleslaw.
Oh, jeez.
And it was through them all, and it looked like vomit.
Yeah.
And I was going through them all.
Essentially, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And I found one, and the security guard goes, "What are you doing?" I went, "I'm looking for one that doesn't have vomit in it." And he went like that. "Oh, didn't realise you're fair the ferry." Like, people from Broughty Ferry don't like vomit on their shit.
Well, you used to see
fucking idiots.
The Broughty Ferry wifeys used to shop in like Lidl's and Aldi's, but they'd all have their Marquis plastic bags.
Yes, they hide it.
That's a thing of wealth.
Yeah.
But that's gone now. Poshos now like to show that they're kind of like, they're out for a bargain. It's fashionable to be out for a bargain. But just this fucking snobbery. The thing I hate is the pretend, wealth, eat the rich, feed the poor. It's the climbers.
Yeah.
It's if you go to a posh shop or a restaurant and the fucking maitre d' thinks he's posh. He's no different from somebody working at McDonald's.
That's right.
It's bullshit.
It's nonsense.
It's those
I went out with this girl
and
her dad, I was very young, and her dad
hated you.
Yeah, of course, really badly. Big story about that one. But
we've heard that story. It was.
Oh no, this is another one.
Oh jeez. Oh my lord.
So
what a tangled web you've weaved, mate.
He lived in Montefieth.
Oh, Montefieth.
Montefieth. Right?
Shite money, isn't it?
Now, hold on. They came out with a map of Dundee, and literally the blue line went up his street, around his house and back down again. He was in Broughty Ferry, and I never let him forget it. You have your house in Broughty Ferry.
Technically,
it's. I mean, but of course, to any normal person,
is
money
Moray
free.
considered posher than Broughty Ferry?
Well, he thought it was.
Is it fuck?
This is a fucking dump.
Well, look, Dundee will absorb it.
A bunch of fucking schemes.
The tentacles of Dundee will absorb everything. It's like Edinburgh. My folks live in Bonnyrigg, and in the time they've lived there, Edinburgh's just field at a time.
Just slowly but surely.
It'll absorb everything.
But to explain to people listening, around the world, you'll have a very simple way of saying you live in a state, a country, a state, a county, and how these are all separated up. It's very easy to figure out. At this moment right now, nobody knows if we live in Tayside or Angus.
No idea.
We don't know if we live in Dundee City or Angus or Tayside or all of them.
Yeah, the closest you can figure out by is the wheelie bins. The colouring of wheelie bins.
But even they will argue about it, because 2 minutes outside of Dundee, that's Perth.
Because in Dundee, paper bins are blue. You've got your wee green bin for food scraps.
That nobody picks up.
Nobody picks those up. Brown is for garden waste.
That's right. You have to pay for that now.
You have to pay for that one.
Jesus.
I shit in it to make up the numbers.
Yeah, get the weight.
Because it is
it's waste.
Yeah. But in Fife, garden waste is tangerine.
Oh.
They've got a white bin
I
for
didn't know this.
food scraps. I'm just making this up. But that's as close as you can get. You just don't know.
You can't tell.
But Dundee, people don't know this, but the wealthy Fifers, I just think they just must shit in piles because the smell
coming from fucking Fife,
and you can tell
stinks.
they've got good eating in
it's
Fife.
Human shit as well.
There's a lot of fillet steak, those wealthy Fifers.
Meaty
I don't know
rounded.
what's the wealthiest person you've ever spoke to? I can't think.
The wealthiest I've ever
as a
spoke
friend,
to.
you ever had a really wealthy friend?
I suppose the doctor that I knew that invited me to the house and had an opera singer.
They were basically looking to slaughter you.
I think that's what it was.
It was eyes wide shut. Seven diamond daggers of Uluru. They were going to just like plunge them.
Lovely fucking people, but I think they came from silly wealth.
There's some wealthy people in this building that pretend they're not wealthy.
Oh, there is. And related to actual royals.
Trustafarians.
Actual royals. And they're like, oh, we're just poor, and we just go, and they come down here in £100,000 car.
They dress like Dexy's Midnight Runners, and they've all got that kind. Bo Bell's accents, but public school education.
Yes.
Because public school, roughing it as a child must be awful. Imagine being put to private. You're like 13, and that's younger than that, isn't it? They go, no, you have to stay. And the abuses that happen.
Oh my God.
That was designed to crush their humanity. Because public school people were getting to run the empire.
Right.
And they had to be cruel. So they weren't wanting loving.
Yeah.
That's
just a horrible thought.
The empire couldn't have run on people who showed humanity and kindness. Could it?
Shit.
You had to be
you had to be cruel.
You had to be cruel. You had to be willing to go abroad.
Was there a red flashing light on that?
Oh God, that's a bit late in the day.
I just realised. But hey, listen, before we continue...
Just wealth.
Before we continue with wealth, the Rundee down.
Oh, there's a new paedophile in Blairgowrie.
What?
There's a new paedophile in Blairgowrie.
What's
about
happened?
it? There's always... Blairgowrie's the number one spot for paedophiles.
Oh my God.
Which is within spitting distance of Dundee, really.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, here's a Dundee rundown.
Okay.
A rundown. A Rundee down. All the bloody electric bikes have disappeared. Can all the station bikes?
Yeah, I've noticed
Where
that.
are they all gone?
I thought they were getting repaired or something.
The whole lot. The entire fleet.
Oh my God, bet they've been nicked. They've all been dumped. They've been dumped in the Tay.
Somebody's fucking stolen the lot.
They've dumped them in the Tay.
Well, you had to be wealthy to hire one of them. You had to join them.
Yeah.
Like Scrap Antics. You had a joining fee, plus you had to pay each time.
They're really expensive.
Yeah.
It was easier to walk.
And these just walk.
Jesus.
They're all gone. I'll check.
Another Rundee down.
Uh-huh.
Now, we talked about this before, and you have taken pictures, so people will be aware of this. So go and check your Twitter. It's up there at the back. Go and check it. But there's a dildo on the road. Now, I went home, and there was a dildo taped to a fence in Lochee, and I couldn't take a picture because there was a workman taking it down.
No, but that's a communal dildo. That was an outreach
that's
program.
Nice, isn't it? Helpful.
It's like people are. It's
raining dildos in Dundee.
It's raining. It's it's to cheer people up.
But this was
communal dildo.
This was an 80s style plastic smooth pink one.
A smooth pink dildo.
Yeah.
Had it been araldited to the
I don't. It was
nailed.
It seemed to be just tape.
I bet you it was like,
tape.
you know, Kickboxer with Van Damme when he puts his hands in the resin and then in the broken glass.
And then you're putting in dildos.
Do that to the dildo.
Oh my God.
It's raining. There's a lot of dildos in Dundee.
Dildos about.
It disappeared. Somebody took it.
Someone took it, yeah.
Well, my mate Stuart, he was walking to his work the other day in Cleghorn Street, and he thought there's a seagull chick sat there, and he thought, goes across, and it was a hawk.
Right.
And he picked it up in his jacket and took it to the vet. And I says, what did it look like? He said, golden eyes. Sparrowhawk. A sparrowhawk chick just sitting in the street in Dundee.
That's
so
weird.
It's dildos.
Dildos.
Both of those are of interest to Chris Packham, funnily enough.
I could believe that. To end it, hold on. That's a Dundee down. Well done.
Wonderful.
I've got a present for you. Because
shit.
you've been using your book, but you use a fake one. There you go.
Oh, it's a moleskin. Did
There
you buy that?
I bought that for you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
See, so you do benefit from fucking coming here because you're always moaning about it.
But you know I've got a moleskin problem.
Well, you get cream for that.
It's a pen hovers over it. I don't want to. I've got about 10 of these.
No.
How do I beat that?
No.
Just do it.
I understand the same thing because they're really expensive and you don't want to ruin it. Use it.
What I think I'll do is, here's my idea: a white mouse on the first page. Leave a big skid mark on it.
Oh my
God! And then I'm like, that's fine now.
That's fine. It's ruined. No, I'm the same thing. They're so good. You don't want
very
to
much.
use them. You're very well.
Well, actually, Derek makes lovely little book things.
I do.
For my pen, so I'll pop that in there.
There you go.
Thanks very much.
You're all sorted.
I'll probably struggle to write in it.
No, you've got to write in it.
I
do the same thing. And the reason that I get the one without the lines in it is because you can draw in it and all that.
Mainly I'll draw cock and balls.
Yes.
I like to sit there. I go outside and I sit and I watch people and I look very intellectual, but I'm just studying people and I'm just drawing a big cock and balls.
All my travels, and I've been travelling for a long time, not anymore obviously, but I travelled for a long time all over Europe, around the world. I always had a moleskin book and I would write a diary every day. And right now I have no idea where one of them are. I think I threw them all out. I never read them.
Idea. Everywhere I go, when I visit any museum, I always write Nick Waring fucks dogs. I've been everywhere. Louvre. It's always a visitor. They've done away with visitor books now.
I like the idea. I've got a little leather bound moleskin.
So I've heard.
And wherever I go, I like the idea of just travelling, writing it down.
Yeah.
But I don't care what I write. I just write gibberish.
Oh, it'll be utter gibberish.
It's just utter rubbish. Actually, it sounds like this podcast because a lot of people say, today I took a water taxi down the Seine and
the
look
Ganges.
at it, and I looked over the end and there was lots of shite. And I'll write the most boring.
The Seine is, we were on holiday in the Seine and we're going down in one of these open top boats, and we passed under this lovely bridge and all these Parisians were like spitting down and spatting loads of people.
Oh, that's great. I used to I got a pass for them, and it was literally from one stop to the next, and I would use it every day. It was good.
Nice.
And
Paris is a lovely city.
It's
dirty.
Huge.
Dirty.
It's so fucking big. And I was there for a little while, and I have no clue about it.
Oh no, you can't get anywhere.
It's so big.
We went to the tallest building in Paris. It's quite a modern skyscraper thing, and the view was spectacular.
Oh God!
Ratatouille. Have you seen that film?
Yeah, that's a beautiful. I like that.
It captures Paris quite well.
I like it. I think Ratatouille is a genuinely beautiful work.
Yeah, it's a lovely work.
Yeah, that's great.
Beautiful.
But the real Paris, I was in some of the poor areas as well, and the big multis.
Yeah, there's some bits are a bit
rough as fuck.
Yeah,
like.
it's quite expensive. It's one of these places you need a kind of local perspective. You need to know somebody that can take you places.
Yeah, and I did. Because if you I didn't have a clue.
So you end up getting gypped in the two kind of croque madame and a croque monsieur. It's fucking an egg on toast.
No, I was just basically in fucking Lidl all the time. Yeah, I didn't.
I think I was there before Lidl kind of spread out a wee bit. But there's a supermarché I went in. The whole fish section was as big as like the Tesco's, Riverside Tesco's. Fucking unbelievable stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
I like the French attitude.
But you need money there, like any big city.
Nobody owns property there. They all rent.
That's right. That's like in Germany.
The UK is so fucking weird.
Yeah, we buy.
Everybody buys stuff, and it's a trap.
Yes.
Whereas wealthy Germans fucking rent because they realise my life circumstance changes. I want to move. I don't have to sell anything. I just end my lease and I move.
There's a problem with the house.
It's the same in Barcelona. Same in Barcelona.
That's right.
I don't know what that is about the UK.
The UK is described.
Aye.
We're described as drunk shoppers. And it's also described in business as Treasure Island because we buy everything. You don't rent, you don't do it, you just buy everything. Yeah. And there's this obsession with it, and you can make money here.
What was it Hitler said? A nation of shopkeepers.
Oh, well, there it is. Never changed, does it?
No, not really.
It's true, but it's
every man's house is his castle.
Yeah.
And that leads to a lot of problems. It's done away with. I think it's changed. I think back in the day when people didn't have home ownership, there was more of a sense of community. But the minute you buy your house, you put a fence up.
Fuck off.
Fuck you. I'm painting my house fucking tangerine, you fucking cunts. But Bob, you work at the same factory as me. You're no different from me. But I own my house, Steve. I own my fucking house.
Do you remember in the 80s? Well, we're from schemes. So, well, I didn't even get in the scheme. I'm on the edge of a scheme. But everyone was starting to get a bit more money. And some people were able to buy their house.
Yeah.
So you had all the houses the same, and then one had shutters put on it.
The double glazing.
The double glazing.
The fence.
The fence.
When I grew up, the front gardens, you'd back garden where you had your washing green and all this, and it was paved. My dad's the shed. The front garden, it was just grass. And it was everybody was the same grass, it stretched, and in the summer everybody would be sat out and blether, and it was a great atmosphere. As soon as it by, bum. And if you go up now, it's chronic. But they've done all kinds of stuff.
They separate themselves in a way. It was really strange because everyone got
people hate each other.
Most people got the option to buy, but most people went, buy this piece of shit house. This is
saying that. What they did was they bought it for nothing. Every mum and dad, you buy it for nothing, and that's what set people up. That's what set them up. Because when they sold it on, it didn't cost them anything.
Well, the average price to buy a house in Dundee, now you're talking, some houses was five bedroom, right? And from the council, it was £18,000.
Jesus.
That's what it was. And they're selling them for ridiculous
money. But there's ground
money.
Floor flats in bits of Dundee. You'll never sell those fuckers.
There's ones
you
can
buy a house
still
for
get
15 grand.
You can still get them for about 10 to 15. Yeah.
But there's a bit on the up for where I'm living. They've built these houses. You see them when you're coming across the bridge, and they're like 500,000-600,000 each. Yeah. Now you know the developer, they can't sell them.
That's right.
The developer was itching to build like a mega mansion.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. So basically, you're spending a lot of money, and you're joined semi-detached.
Yeah. You're
joined together. Yeah. It's fucking
awful.
Who's getting fall for that shit? Dundee has a lot of these overpriced townhouses people throw up,
and they're really narrow stairs.
Yeah.
And it's 5 levels to get to your toilet.
The Kunza house I grew up in was far nicer.
Yes.
Because a lot of
huge mistakes.
Because Kunza houses, they were built to make people happy. They were like good. They were trying to make a place a good standard of living. Whereas developers it's squeeze in as much as you can in the lot.
See, this is what takes us back to the wealth, though.
Wealth, yeah.
Because there's a balance, and they're saying if you earn up to 100,000 a year, it changes your happiness. But after 100,000,
doesn't make any difference.
There's no change.
Could imagine earning 100,000 a year.
100 grand. This is where we're heading with this show.
If I got 100 grand in 1 year, I think I'd retire on it. I think that 100 grand could see me going for 10 years.
A long time. Yeah, quite easily. The money that I spend.
I'd be like that. Fuck that.
The most money I spend in my life is on this show. This is where all my money goes.
This is just fun. That's the bleakest thing you'll hear all fucking day. Wealth.
This is where my money goes. Wealth. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, spend some money on your balls.
Yeah, one of these grooming kits.
Oh, they're always...
I like a kind... Manscaping.
They're everywhere.
Anything like a cucumber ball dip.
Jesus,
just
what?
A cooling cucumber and mint.
Oh, see, this is what we need for men.
Sometimes, when you get like a munchie box at the Turkish restaurant,
just pop it in there,
and you get the wee things, and it's. I think to myself,
don't get it wrong. There's a few choices.
Don't dip them in the jalapeno,
the spicy mango,
or anything with a grit in it.
Yes,
but that really cooling mint and cucumber dip.
Oh, that'll just slow you
down.
Get
the ones you get for the Pringles.
Oh, because the jar's about the right size.
Fuck yeah, you can get the whole thing in.
Yeah, and then just sort of you get a seal around it. But don't eat it afterwards.
Have you ever done a thing where you take a cup,
you
finish your tea, and you plant it in your face, and then you soak the air out so it sticks to your face?
I don't have a flat face like yours.
Aye.
This is just
And
normal.
sometimes I can't get it off, but all I needed to do was breathe
But
into
you have
it.
no profile. I do.
No profile. Flat.
Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks for that.
thanks for that,
Thanks for
folks.
that,
Thanks
Thanks for this foreskin.
Oh, your foreskin.
Plain notebook.
Until next time, wash your balls.
Tata, wash.
Enjoy your wealth.
Enjoy your vast wealth. This is wealth for the ears.
Of course it is.
This
You're
is
learning-
wealth.
Listen,
This is
I've
treating
just
your
said
ears to some
on
sonic
Twitter this
wealth.
week, this is practically an educational thing, and I've been told by several people
They've learned stuff.
that they're learning all their general knowledge from this.
Oh, for fuck.
Eh?
That is a very, very...
How good is that?
That's the bleakest thing. I thought, yeah.
Ah, God.
Jesus Christ.
And on that note, ladies
Ta-ta.
and gentlemen, laters.
Tata.